Guys, welcome back to the next podcast of Nomadic Teachers. So we're really sitting here somewhere in the middle of October already. Things are going great. So basically what we want to do is give you an update as to traveling to Thailand and what do you need, what you don't need. We're going to cover basic things: flights, arrivals, accommodation, transport, immigration, and basically the ins and outs of Thailand and how you would go about teaching abroad that side. Okay, so there's a couple of things that we need to first discuss. So obviously flights. Once you've got your police clearance and you've decided, okay, cool, I bought my plane tickets, now I want to come teach abroad, what is the next step? So your next step will basically be trying to get a visa, or basically going to the country and getting a visa on arrival. So what this entails is, if you do it in your home country, you can just go to your local governmental offices and find out what the application process is. Obviously each country is different depending on where you come from. So what we're going to do is discuss the visa on arrival in a sense, and go through what are the basic procedures of what you do. So when it comes to the stamp on arrival, what you do is you purchase a return ticket from your country to Thailand, and on arrival you will get a 30-day stamp. So this grants you 30 days access to the country. So this is obviously for travelers and to help boost tourism and so forth. But this also gives teachers a chance to get acquainted to the country, to see if they like it or they don't, or whatever the case might be. So there are some pros and cons to obviously doing your visa at home versus doing it on the other side. If you're doing it from South Africa, for example, it's a way more expensive. The process is a lot different. For example, where if you're going through to Thailand, all you'll basically do is go through a couple of border posts, get your tourist visa, and then you come back. So obviously the rules do change constantly in Asia. You must be aware of this. You can check your local online tourism information centers. You can look at the immigration depending on what area that you're in. So yeah, so there are some cons and there are some pros. It's up to you how you want to take it, but for example myself, I went the other route and got my tourist visa after 30 days being in Thailand, where obviously some of the other people have decided, no, okay, they'll get their education visas in South Africa and then obviously travel abroad. So either way, we don't have complaints on either side. Like we say, you must just check the pricing, but other than that, it's a for a way. So the next thing I would like to discuss is obviously arriving in Thailand. Okay, so now let's say you have bought your plane ticket and everything's good, you're climbing on that Oliver Tambo and you decide, okay, I'm going through to Bangkok or whatever the case might be. So what is the whole process and what do you do? Just basically what happens on arrival. So obviously you'll go through customs. The one thing they do check is your vaccination, so make sure that if you're coming from Ethiopia that you have your yellow fever shots. We also recommend typhoid and hep shots as well, so please make sure that you do have your vaccinations. So rather do it than not, because if you do get infected, don't say we didn't warn you, so just watch out for that. Then baggage, most international flights are 40Ks, so pack light, and remember that the Southeast Asian countries are hot. Don't wear skimpy outfits obviously, but in the sense of dress light. Then traveling. Okay, so once you've arrived at the airport, what's the process? So depending on what time you arrive, you'll either catch a taxi, tuk-tuk, or you might catch a bus to wherever your hotel is. So when it comes to accommodation and booking these types of things, booking.com, Agoda is also an amazing place to go look. These applications help you find hotels and accommodation very easy. If you've got no money, you can use Couchsurfer. Couchsurfer is a wonderful thing as well. It's basically a host parents, they take you in and help out. And obviously navigation, you need to download an application called maps.me. If you want, Google offline also works, but you're going to have to do something about navigation, and maps.me is a great thing because you're going to need to know where you want to go. So when it comes to navigation, highly important, especially in Thailand. It helps to know where your bearings are and where you're going and everything like that, so you don't get ripped off either. Okay, so accommodation, obviously you can go to, there are applications and websites, booking.com, Agoda, that will help you with these certain things. You can find apartments pretty easily. You can speak to your local teachers or whatever to find houses, depending if you want to share or not. The housing is very nice in Thailand, depending on what area you are. but it's not your typical shack and in a sense leaves hanging from your head type mission. It's very, very urban in that sense. So then the schools, some schools do offer you accommodation when you do land. Let's say you're teaching at a certain school, they'll say, okay, well, we can accommodate you at the school, and they'll give you a teacher's apartment. So this has happened on occasion, so just be aware of that. Some schools do offer it and some don't. Then the other thing is houses. Once you get to know your area, then you can speak to your locals and ask them, do they have a friend or do they know a friend that has an open house that you can rent. Otherwise you can look at things like Facebook groups. Just type in basically wherever you're going in Thailand, housing group, and you'll find something. That simple. Okay, transport. Please, you must know how to drive a scooter in Thailand. If you want to get your international driver's license, you can go get it at Home Affairs. But you must know how to drive a scooter. Same in Vietnam, you gotta know how to drive a scooter. But you can also catch things like song theos, which is in a sense the taxis, or you can catch things like Grab, for example. You can catch tuk-tuks depending on what. Just be aware there are a lot of scams when it comes to tuk-tuk drivers, so might put passat high, then they're going to rip you off, so just be careful of that. And then yeah, the first visa trip. So let's say you've done your 30 days now and it's time to decide, okay, I'm going to stay here for the next couple of months, or what am I going to do? So if it is the case you want to stay, what's going to happen is you're going to have to go to a place called Nong Khai. Nong Khai is basically the crossing into Laos. So you're going through Vientiane to Laos to go get what we call a tourist visa. So if your school has the paperwork ready in those 30 days, then what they will do is make you apply for a non-B. So if need be, you can go to our website. We will discuss this matter further, especially when it comes to visas in Thailand and what to apply for, what not to apply for. If I have a degree, what do I do? If I don't have a degree, where do I go, or how can I go about it? If I have a diploma, is there any chance of me going to Thailand? So this will all be discussed on our YouTube channel, and if not, our website. Have a look there for the full video. So yeah, I hope this helps, and peace out from Nomadic.